Hey, I'm Demelza and I'm here to help course creators leverage video to boost the quality and credibility of their content and brand. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you how you can create an engaging script for your video course lessons. So let's jump right in. Okay, so first let's talk about the lesson structure, and then I'm going to show you how I actually put a script together. So the structure or framework that I use is called guides. This is something I've come up with myself based on different structures that I've seen around there. But the first letter is G. So that's to give some background on how you learned it, which is your knowledge, or earned it, which is through your experience. So for example, of something through experience, I created my first course in a vacuum. So I basically decided I'm going to make an online course, so I'm going to just go out there and make it, which is what I did. And I didn't do any research, I didn't ask my audience, and when I launched it, it was crickets. There was nothing. So I learned through that I needed to build my audience, I needed to do some research, I needed to do some key things in order to actually move my course business forward. And using an example like that story I've just told you, you can then lead into the rest of the topic that you want to go through. I've learned through that experience how not to do things, so I'm going to give you the shortcut on how to do it properly. So the second letter is U, which is to unpack your strategy or what you do, or the overarching plan or the goal for the lesson. So for example, so in this video or this lesson, we're going to look at the 3 steps that I recommend doing before you create your online course. Now, when you're talking about steps and lessons and stuff, I do want to just say that I recommend keeping your videos short and not try to cram too much into one video. I would typically stick to one main point and then maybe break it down into steps to accomplish, rather than having multiple points that you're talking about. So think about how you can simplify it and keep it as short as possible. But often you will have 3 steps within one point, that kind of thing. So just wanted to clarify that. The next letter is I, which is introduce the tactics or how to do it. Now this is the step-by-step process. So this is where you would actually go into your main piece of content and actually deliver out how to accomplish whatever it is that you're trying to help them achieve to get from A to B. The 4th letter is D. That's describe how it's worked for others. So this would be an inspirational story or case study that shows that basically that they can do it too. Now, you can skip this one, so if you don't have the stories yet, you don't have to include this. But if you can share an example of a student who has seen great results doing what you've just taught, that can really help your students see how it can work for them and be inspired to actually take action as well. Just as note as well, these stories can come from coaching calls or other people that you've helped outside the context of your course. So it doesn't actually have to be from your course itself. You can take it from other sources. Number 5 is E, and that is to encourage some kind of action to be taken. So this is basically to include a CTA so that they know their next steps. So based on everything you've just taught them in that lesson, the key thing now they should do is whatever that is. So spell it out for them. You may have spelled it out the entire lesson, but make sure you spell it out at the end so that they know for sure what their next step is. And then the last letter is S, which is to summarize the main points and the next steps. You could do this verbally, or you could have this just as a slide at the end of your lesson rather than repeating yourself. However, I don't think it actually hurts to summarize everything in a nice, neat little package for your students to take away. So even if you don't have a slide, I encourage you to speak it, or if you don't speak it, at least have a slide, something to basically package it all nicely at the very end. Now, before I show you how this looks when actually putting this all together, I just wanted to mention a couple of quick things. First of all, I'd love to know what your course topic is about, so go ahead and let me know that in the comments section. And second, I encourage you to check out the link in the description as well for more info on how you can produce a quality video-based course that backs up your credibility as a professional and helps you go from the unheard course creator to the established or recognized expert in your space. So now that we've looked at the lesson structure, let's look at what this looks like actually putting this together. Now I'm going to be using Trello because that's what I'm using to basically organize everything in my business at this point. But you can use different software, even Word, to create your scripts. And then what is often done is you have audio on one side and then your visuals on the other side. Now I can't do that in Trello, but in order to get around that, I use this format. So I'm just going to show you how that looks here. In terms of using the guides, format or formula or structure or whatever you want to call it, I've got the idea up here just so as I can remind myself every time I'm doing a new lesson that this is a format that I want to follow. And then I have the headlines here. And then all I need to do is go ahead and fill in the bits underneath the headline. Now here I've done a full-on script. Now I don't always do that, but sometimes I do. But whether you're using a full-on script or you're using an outline, you can add extra visual elements just by adding a few extra things. So for example, let's say I wanted to add some B-roll here. I could just put parentheses here and then say walk to the chair. So maybe for whatever reason in the background I want to be walking to the chair as I'm talking, saying whatever this is, and then on the visuals you're going to see me walking to the chair. If I want to add a transition, I might use let's say the rewind transition, because scratch that, let's go back and redo this the right way. Or maybe I just want to make a note to myself here and I'll use a bracket and I'll just say add text overlay here. So it just gives me some things that I can use to remind myself when I come to editing of what I had envisioned when I created this script. But it also helps me to know what I need to get. So for example, I need to get this B-roll of walking to the chair. So after I've written out the script or the outline and I know exactly what I want to get, obviously most of my videos are talking head videos, but if I wanted to add the B-roll, then I make a list of the B-roll shots that I want to get and then I go ahead and make sure I've got them. Then when I come to edit it, I can refer back to this script and know exactly where I wanted to put those extra B-roll elements. Okay, so there you have it, the guide's lesson structure and how to actually execute on that. And don't forget to check out the link below if you'd like to know more about how you can produce quality video-based courses that make you look like the pro that you are. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit subscribe and the bell button so that you get notified of more videos to help you become the recognized expert in your space. Thanks for watching this video and I will see you in the next one.